Know why the creation of the noisy chair happened? Well, people wanted to share their story, concerns, and being loud. Well, I'm here to listen, have an opinion, and talk to people. That's what this is all about. My name is Dave, aka DJ Dave. Love being part of a new journey with amazing people on my podcast.
Fly a drone that can handle like 135 light guy, and I'm just like, okay, take me to Dave's. Like, hopefully it won't take too long, and please don't drop me at 427 and 401 because I'm gonna really die from getting hit by a car.
You think that Amazon's gonna have that soon, or what?
Oh well, they do. They have that for in Toronto there's a company that delivers blood actually that has commercial drones. And then,
really?
Yeah. It's out there. It's just really restricted. So like you won't even know this thing is flying, and it delivered it's for essential services because there aren't that many helicopters, right? So like if you need something quick, that's the fastest way to get it. You have no traffic,
seriously.
Or barely any traffic under a certain altitude, like whatever. They'll just fucking go and get you the blood, and you can
right.
So yeah, apparently between hospitals, that's what happens. It's just not common knowledge, but yeah, it's there.
Wow. And then this is all run by it's run by a corporation, I think from Bottomville or Belleville or somewhere from one of those little airports. Yeah, they have a little spot where they Buttonville Airport. Yeah.
The video I saw was like, these guys know what they're doing, and they're only using it for essential services. So it's like it's not for parties. It's too bad.
For sure. Could you imagine put all your DJ equipment through a drone?
Yeah, I need a DJ. I need a V10 delivered. Oh, shit, that's two drones.
Oh boy. Welcome to this edition of the Noisy Chair podcast, sponsored by our good friends at Connected by Sound. Episode 007, like James Bond. And here with me today is a well-known figure in the house music community. I'd like to welcome Hubert. Hubert, thanks for coming by the studio tonight, man.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're here virtually, which is great. I was hoping you'd come down to the studio, but you don't drive, so it's all good. It'll take you probably 10 hours to get here by bus, but it's all good. We've been trying to connect for a bit to get you on here, and
I drive people crazy. I drive people crazy.
That's what you need. Oh man, speaking of crazy, man, I mean the shit that's going around that's in the US and all this shit that's around. I mean, I want to take a few moments to to send our Canadian condolences to the families of the victims that were selfishly taken in Texas and in Buffalo. And it's sad, man. I mean, I don't know what your take is on this, but it's we don't have this shit up here. Knock on wood, it doesn't. But I mean, in the States, I mean, the National Rifle Association, I mean, they run the fucking government. They pump in money to their campaigns. It's crazy. It's
part
ridiculous.
of their constitution. That's the biggest mistake.
I know it's a little bit on the downer side, but I mean, obviously, it is something that should be addressed. I know in Canada we do not have concerns. We do have guns that are illegal guns that are coming up wherever they're coming from, and yes, they're in the wrong hands. Whether we're doing a good job trying to stop them, we haven't had any major concerns like the U.S. have with shootings and mass shootings. I mean, it is horrific. And we
need to be hyper aware of it because it could just violence is violence, is crime is crime, and it increases. We need to keep tabs on all that because that's where the guns come in.
I just figured I just wanted to touch base and talk about that for a minute or so, and also to offer our condolences to the Americans. I mean, the families there. It is sad to see this, and honestly, I mean, I don't know what else more to say about it, but I hope they change the laws one day and see what happens. But anyways, listen, I mean, I don't want to put on a downer. I'm having a beer. I'm having a drink. I got you here, and we're going to talk about you your journey in the musical world, and
Sure.
and this is all about you, man. I just want to get people want to know about you. Like you're like this mysterious guy. People know you, but they don't know you. It's like, does he have this? And he's have like, you're everywhere, which is great. There's a lot of DJs in the GTA, and it's always great to know more about them and their journey from the beginning. And for you, man, it's like we want to just find out from the beginning. Where did Hubert begin? Where were you born and raised, man?
So yeah, I was born in Warsaw in Poland, and I spent 14 years living there. I was greatly influenced by synth pop and Italo disco. I was also part of an incredible dance crew, which was not just some street crew. It was more a really structured dance studio. I didn't not make it into piano, but I made it into rhythm. And I love dancing, and I loved dancing back then. And I spent about 5 years in a professional school as a kid. And then I started playing tennis, which was kind of funny. I kind of got out of it and I started playing tennis. But the music really stuck with me. I was surrounded by a lot of people that were listening to heavy metal, but I was not really into that. I always loved melodies, and the synthesizer was kind of the intricate instrument that I kind of like went towards. I didn't really know what it was. Or what the structure was. We had very limited access in the 80s to any sort of videos. We only had 2 channels on TV, and it was kind of hard. But there were these places where you could go and get like bootleg tapes recorded. So they would literally take a tape, some sort of tape, and it would just dub it. So you had to go and buy a blank tape if you had access to American money, and you would go to this special place where they sell American stuff, and I still have. I wish I brought it. A TTK tape that's like it's really high end. And I went into this store. It's like literally like a little shack, and then you get this tape recorded of music from like Modern Talking or CC Catch, this stuff that people in North America really don't know much about, and or Pet Shop Boys and.
At that time of year,
at that time, and it was like super crazy, and the inserts were all black and white, and then you will just get this tape, and you'll just go home and play it over and over and over and over again. And then you will meet some kid on the street that would say, "Oh, I have this big antenna, and we can do this recording from Radio Luxembourg." And then so we would meet up in the middle of the night and do these recordings. And it was probably the first time we were actually doing some, and I actually have some of these tapes where we basically just stop and start recording in between the radio personality talking about the tracks, and we like just trying to like put it on pause, and like he had like a boom box, so we would just be hitting it and like trying to make a tape out of it. Like, now you call it a mixtape. That was a freaking mixtape. It was recorded live. So whenever I hear now people talking about recording mixtapes, I just go like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about." Except that you have a lot more control over, your USB tape deck to your mixer and all this other stuff. So I grew up in that kind of environment. It was kind of tough, and the music evolved. It was super Euro, incredibly Euro. And then in '88, I came to Canada with a bunch of those tapes. I kind of left my house abruptly to visit my dad, and he was here for 5 years, and I didn't know I'm going to stay here. I made the biggest decision of my life. I came with my sister and my sister and my mom, and then my mom asked me if I want to stay with my dad, and I did not really know this guy. I was 14 years old. I didn't know the language, and I just went like, what am I going to do? So I had a mattress in those tapes. I had that. And that was kind of my beginning, my baseline at Jane and Finch. I lived at Jane and Grand River.
Oh, Jane and Finch! Wow.
Yeah. So I lived there. So I was completely oblivious to the surroundings. I didn't have the language. I went to Chaminade for grade 9 ESL, and then I just kind of like, okay, there must be a place where I can go to dance. And then I kind of like, okay, let's go to the school dance. I'm like, and then I was just introduced to like Gino music. I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm like, okay, I can see the beat. I can see the beat. I'm like, I'm a dancer, so I can dance to this, no problem. And you know, Stevie B and all that stuff. Like I was just like, okay, this is cool. And then I was learning English really quickly because because of tennis. I was interacting with people so much because of tennis, because then you go to the club and you play and you talk to somebody with your broken English. And then very soon after that, I met Pablo Hernandez. You probably know who he is.
For sure.
He was in my school. So we went to school. We went to school together. So we're really close friends, like in terms of like high school. And then we kind of navigated into playing tennis and meeting other people. And then I got into going to raves. Eventually, I went to 55 Mercer because somebody gave me a pass, and I had this gold pass to 55 Mercer. And then we started listening to Hard Drive, and then he started introducing me to this music, and it's like, you know, James St. Bass is on the radio, and this is all crazy. I'm like going, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. And then, you know, it's house music now, right? It's house music. And, you know, I spent so much time trying to understand, like, you know, where's City TV? Where do I go? Like, what's going on? Like, where's the proximity of all these different venues? And I started going to parties at night where my dad was like basically working at Crancork and Seal. He didn't know I was out ever. But I was a really clean kid. Like I didn't do any drugs or anything like that. So for me, it was all about dancing. So just getting out there and dancing and exploring things. And then as I went through high school, I started like putting all the rave flyers in my locker. And then people would start coming up to me and literally asking me, "Is like, okay, when is the next party?" And so then I made friends at Ecstatic. That's how I know Brian Ireland. He was working there, and like it was just and Mike Stein from Pleasure Force, and just it just became like this thing. Like I would just always like kind of get into the scene, and try to really be part of it. At the not so much just being the raver, it's more like how does this all work? Like who is doing what? You know, like looking at like who's Dr. No? Where does he come from? Who's DJ Dominic? And it was a little bit more intense back then.
Well, you're trying to figure it out too. Like you're involved. It looks like you're involved in like in everything about this rave. You know,
I was just trying to figure it out. Like I was just trying to say, okay, I'm going to these places. I'm dancing. And I'd go there for 8 hours. And I had me and my buddy Mike, we were BIOS and DRAM. So, you know, like BIOS, when you boot your computer, that's what boots your computer. BIOS. And DRAM was like the really slow memory. So there would be like the two of us, and we would just go raving, except we would never really do anything. So we were not exposed to drugs or anything like that. We'd just like have water, and people would come up to me and say, like, how can you go so fast? And I'm like, but I'm just dancing, dude. The music is so fast. Like you got to keep up, right? So like we did all that. So that was really the beginning. And we went through, I really went through that to like maybe 1997. And then I probably 1997, 96. I always had this vision in my head to be a DJ because going back to Poland for a second, there was a DJ at my uncle's PhD kind of celebration in this tiny little place in Warsaw, and he had all these 7-inch records, and I would just sit there in the corner going, okay, this is crazy. He's got all the music that I want, but I don't know where he got it from because I don't even know where to go. So I said, you know what, when I make enough money, I will then buy turntables. And it's funny because where you live, I was probably really close to where you live. And in 1997, I went on a bus and pick up 1200s in cases on the bus and brought them to 263 Adelaide, which is where my studio was, where I lived. Okay, and I brought this thing, and then I went to, I think I went to Trax, and I bought a Gemini mixer. Like 626 was my first mixer.
Oh yeah.
And then I just set it all up, and that was it. And then from that point on, it just became like a thing. Like I had to go and buy records because now I have these turntables, and I had to buy needles, and I was making like $40,000 a year, and I was broke, but I would still go and still get stuff, and I would just like go. And then once things got a little bit better later, I started buying music in the States when I was traveling in the States later. I had these trips to New York, and I would have all these places that I would go and buy music, but I would actually never ever, whenever I was in town, I would always go to play the record after, and going to play the record was like a big thing because it was always on Thursdays, and we had like an incredible group of people that would like inspire you. You know, like Jason Palma and Nick Holder was there. Nick was getting really big. He would just stand in the corner with like going, what the hell is going on? But Jason would bring all the records, and Dave Cooper was there, always feeding us all the latest stuff. And they would all learn about you. They would learn about what you like. And it was super special to go in there. You would spend $120 that you didn't have every Thursday, but you would leave with that, you know, that bag, you know, the Play the Record white bag with the big logo, and you'd be rushing home to like just go and play. For me, it wasn't very far, so I would just like go home and put these things on, not know how to mix it. I would just be like completely refining my ear to what I really like. And I have all these records there. And so that was kind of the transition from, you know, being the immigrant and not having any idea what's going on to like the house scene or techno scene for that matter. I bought a lot of techno records as well from other places like Speed Records. Very good selections there because they were all coming from Detroit. It was completely different way Play the Record was getting records. So I had a lot of opportunities, and as I was going through, I was always making connections, right? I wasn't just there to buy records and just leave, you know, like, hey, I'm gone, you know, like
exactly. You're a network.
I'm just gonna talk to you. I know Eugene. You know, I'm like going, you know, I'm gonna be back here. We have to build relationships, and we'll talk about the relationships later.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was always really important because I'm a very social guy, and I don't just say, hey, how you doing, and then forget about you, you know, like
right.
So as I went through this journey, at one point I said, okay, I've got turntables, I've got a mixer, and then I was also really heavily involved in internet. Right, because I was already working in technology, like where you had modems and stuff, and so we were using Real Audio to like do, like I said, okay, I can probably broadcast in Real Audio, and it might not cost a lot of money to do that. I just need a phone line, so we got a phone line. So, and I was like, okay, I think we can get this done, and so I started building out this crew, and it's with Ted Denson, Dan Louie, Mike Folks, and I had this night, and I don't have the flyer for it. It's in my book. We were on techno.ca, a news group, and we said like, hey, you guys want to participate in this thing? We have this night. It was on Mondays on college, and it was in a dive bar. And I would haul the equipment in. I would set it all up, and we would like Luke would play. Ted Denson would play like disco. I would play techno. Dan Louie would play minimal techno. Like it would just be a mishmash of stuff, and we'd be drinking like really shitty beer from bad lines. But we're like 22 years old, right? Like we're
Right.
it's 1998 is when it all kind of started in terms of building a crew, right? And it was the Technologics crew. That was the first project, the Technologics projects.
Okay.
And like when we got together, we didn't know that it's actually going to continue. And it could be me that was always pushing the idea,
Right.
but everybody kind of went along, and they were not really stepping out from it or had different ideas. And then we got really noticed for some of the controversy because of that crazy flyer we made. It was an alien touching a girl on the inside of her leg, and it was like a crazy thing on the internet. I have the entire transcript actually in a book.
I would love this. I would love to see a picture of that. That would be kind of cool.
I have the picture and I have the transcript. Is where Beth May, who she used to be a really big promoter in the city for like Richie. She brought Richie Houghton and all kinds of back in the 80s, like late 80s.
Wow.
And she said like, what is going on here? Because she was a feminist, or she's a feminist. I don't know. But she basically said like, what's going on? And then like everybody started talking about it. And then somebody says, hold on a second. These guys are getting a lot of publicity. I wish I was getting this much publicity. And then we got really noticed. They were like, these guys are like part of, Techno.ca, mailing list. And they're like talking about all this stuff. And we're like, I'm not saying anything. So I told Luke, I'm like, you say something because you're the skeptic in the group. Like you respond to this. So that's kind of how it started. And then like we morphed into this crew that basically we ended up hooking up with metal. So they used to do things on Fridays. They were kind of related to us. They were like minimal techno Perlon kind of really, they were doing all kinds of stuff, and we were like really good friends with them. So we did like a square off with them. Where like we had like 3 turntables, and so you had to, they would play on 2 and we'll play on 1, and then we'll switch up, and then we ended up winning that competition because we were like just a little bit more diverse. But that's not really the point. But so we continued doing that, and then we got a spot at 73 Bathurst. Okay. We actually, that was the first.
What do you mean a spot? What do you mean a spot? Like a
like residency? A little space. No, we got a little studio.
Okay, cool.
And in there, that really morphed into all kinds of stuff because like we were running Technologics out of Bathurst and King. All of a sudden, we have a little tiny room, a little bit maybe the same size as control room, really. Definitely a little bit cheaper. And so we were doing all kinds of broadcasts using, just modem and stuff. We did a industry like Matt hired us to do a broadcast at one point. I don't even remember which show we did, but we were all hooked up over there, and we broadcasted with real audio. So we kept doing these little shows, and eventually we had a breakup in the crew. And I ended up keeping the space.
Okay. Was it more mutual, or was it like there was something that went on?
There was just like it was mainly with one guy. Gotcha. It was just mainly with one guy because we were already 3 people involved. But anyway, we broke up, and Luke and I stayed together. Like Ted Denson and I stayed together, and then the other guy left. And there was a lot of growing up to do. And all of a sudden, like, I had an interest from somebody else who was like Christian Newhook and Sean Hollywood, who came in, like Azuri, Azuri, like now he's Azuri, like he's a big producer. Right. So they opened a record store at 73 Bathurst with me being inside. So I had access to a lot of like disco and house, and like, they started bringing like Glen Underground. There was so many. Paul Jolie was in the studio. Like it was so many awesome. People were coming through. Like yeah, like I became I became like a webmaster for track mode. So I have all the track mode recording records, like Brett Dancer. I've met him many times. We in 1999. Before that, we threw a party with Terrence Parker, who I still talk to.
Wow, cool.
One of my kids is actually Terrence, and the other one is Glenn. So
right. How old were you at this time when you're doing all this?
So that's 1999. So you can do some calculations. I'm not really good in math. But,
I can't.
Yeah, like it's probably like 20, maybe like
early 20s,
27.
Okay, late 20s. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, something. Yeah, that would kind of almost make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like basically just doing stuff, and there's other people doing stuff in Toronto. Like it's crazy. Like R&B is going on. There's like Sam Solchak is throwing big parties, and like we're just doing small stuff and just being a little crew. You know, you get invited, you get invited. You don't get invited to anything, it doesn't matter because you're doing your own thing, and it's really important to do your own thing. And so yeah, Larry Heard, for example. Like I've hugged Larry Heard in my life.
Wow.
You know, like he came to 73 Bathurst. But that's because of Christian, like because he was bringing all these guys and doing all these parties, and he always wanted to like make sure they're like welcome and stuff. And for me it was just like, yeah, well, it's just like whatever, just you're throwing a party, let's do it. And there were really small ones, and then as things progressed, you know, things kind of die. Sometimes things kind of stop. And so from Technologics, it became Beats.to, which was a big thing. And at the same time, Techno.ca guys reached out to me saying, hey, we're dropping housemusic.ca. Do you want to take the domain? That's why I have housemusic.ca domain, because somebody actually told me and gave it to me.
I remember asking you about it because you're like, hey, you know, House Music Radio or housemusic.com. He said, no, I got housemusic.ca. I'm like, fuck, you got it.
Yeah, it's because it was given to me. I won't get the techno.ca. Don't worry, I will never get that. Like that's
so you don't own that one.
No, just the house music. They gave it to me. They're like, you can have it.
Yeah, like techno.ca. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know, who owns that anyways?
It's owned by somebody in Germany.
I'm looking at here, techno.ca. I'm looking at here. It's just basically a website right now
that's all it says.
It's a black screen. It says techno.ca.
It's been like that for 15 years.
Wow. That's crazy. That's nuts.
Yep.
That's cool, man. I mean, how'd you make money when you're like just like throwing parties, charging admission? Like how are you making a living back then?
I traveled a lot in the States. I was a tech. I did a lot of traveling. My pretty much between like maybe like 24 to 28. I was on the road. I was here on the weekends, but my weekdays were just like, I wasn't even here. I was in Virginia. I was in Pittsburgh. I was fucking anywhere.
So you had you were part of like the very first, you know, introduction to like internet, you know.
Yeah, that part I did. I actually am. So going back to, if you want to know about the internet, I was actually part of like the BBS world in high school.
Wow. Okay. That's cool.
So,
that's big, man. That's big.
No, but like so I've seen the progression of the internet through my life, which is like I guess now like I look at it, I'm like, oh wow, you just plug in your router and you're fine. Yeah, it wasn't like that before. You know, we had we did all that from the beginning, where you had to transfer, you had to get a daily load of conversations into your BBS at night. So you wake up in the morning, you have fresh news. One of the things that I did, I bought a modem for my wife. She's still married to me, and that's how we met at a tennis court.
Okay.
Right?
Awesome.
Like the internet part is like I don't like and then as it progressed, I was able to progress with technology and be able to provide people with access and streaming and all that stuff. And it's important to kind of validate some of this stuff. I have pictures, like,
oh my God, I already know that you're probably one of the pioneers of creating the live stream, and radio broadcasting through internet. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just did my bit.
Oh, I know, but you're a technology type of guy. Like you found ways of not breaking into, but breaking into the new age of technology and how it evolves and live streaming and how to get this camera to hook up to the internet and all that jazz.
Well, now it's the camera. Before it was just a feed.
It's just a feed, right? So the BBS would be that was a bulletin board system, correct?
That's right.
All right. Yeah, I remember that because I was, not to get into a boring conversation, but I was heavily into the Commodore 64 VIC-20 back then, and I was programming. Sure. I was programming a lot for Compute Magazine and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff, and the modem with putting your phone on the modem. Sure. And hearing that sound, cracking sound.
That sound, yeah.
So I mean, but just evolving what it used to be, what it is now. And
look what it is right now. Exactly. Dave.
Oh my God!
Look what it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now we're just so you have to evolve with that. First, you struggle and you say, okay, I have this platform, and I have my crew, and this is what we're doing. And then you kind of okay, let's go forward, 20 years.
Right.
To where we are today. Now, what is my responsibility? Am I still just doing my crew? No.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Now it becomes a platform and say, hey, you guys want to do this? Like, who wants to do this? And then you have to figure out a couple of other things. But it's definitely has come a long way, but you're right. I've been watching this the entire time, and there has been some moments where it kind of slowed down a little bit, but I was still in a technology game, so I was able to kind of know exactly where things are going to go when I get back into curating shows or doing things, right? Because I had kids and stuff. That's kind of the paying for the house and doing all this stuff and being busy.
For sure.
Right.
For sure, man. Absolutely. So when you got your crew and when did you were you DJing professionally, or was it more just for just parties?
Yeah. So there was one time really, maybe 2002, 2003, where I got really busy with playing in all kinds of lounges, and it was really the big era of really deep house, and it was just crazy. I would get booked to play. I didn't have kids. I still lived in an apartment. I lived with my girlfriend, now my wife, and it would be all over downtown, all over me and now we just lost Jason Orlich. I had a night with him for a good 2.5 years at Chow 80. It was kind of we were out there for a bit, carrying records everywhere.
Jesus,
it was crazy. For a small guy like me, carrying cases and bags of vinyl, it was just, I got shorter because of that.
You got more fit though, man.
That's okay. But those days are even talking to Gene King about it. I spoke to him about why is he just bringing a USB stick? He's like, I can't do it.
Yeah, right.
You just can't do that anymore. And I do bring half a crate. I have a half a crate if somebody wants me to play some 80s stuff. I'll bring a half a crate of 80s stuff and play.
Sure.
But back then, it was crazy. We had such a stamina and and for me, no drugs. So I was always pretty hyper aware of like what was going on, and then
natural drug, you know.
Oh, because of the dance. I'll tell you, Dave. It's because of dancing, dude. I have such a rhythm in my body. Like I dance in my underwear, dude. Like
It's stamina, man. Stamina.
yeah, but it's just.
I
Like,
hope you do. I hope you don't still dance in your underwear, like at
no, at home. I do it at home. I do it anywhere. Like the kids think I'm crazy, but like
yeah.
good
Dad's
music
at
is
it
good.
again, Mom. Dad's at it again, Mom. He's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's the little guys. That's what the G Money. That's what he says. That is cuckoo, dude. Like she's like, no, that's okay.
That's okay. He's all right. He's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, the modern times are it's a completely different game, and I still stick to the same thing as you in your introduction. You said I do not care what other people are doing. I see what people are doing. It's amazing, and they should keep doing it. Everyone should be doing what they're doing. And I will just continue providing a platform. And now that I can, in a capacity that I can right now, I will continue doing that. And it's been really successful with Control Room.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's an organic success. It has nothing to do with anything. You know, everyone can do their own thing. You can do your own thing. By the way, I love the name of your podcast. I think it's brilliant. I think it's completely brilliant. Like I saw that, I was like, I want to be on this noisy chair because I am a noisy chair. You know?
Awesome. That's exactly the mentality I wanted to have, was to have someone.
It's amazing. It's on point. It's like I was like,
thanks,
I like Dave's thing. Like, that's a good one, you know. And
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, anytime. And I you know, you do your own thing, and we do our own thing, and really, like when we started Control Room, it was a bit of a thing. Like I got this space with another guy, and or my ex roommate, who was like really into like basically not owning the space, but they're just using the space for like production. So
gotcha.
I wouldn't be able to bring community in here because then he's got $30,000 worth of like synths in here. So,
Jesus, yeah.
So then we have to like kind of like deal with that part.
Right.
Once we dealt with that part, then the room was mine.
Yeah.
And then I knew exactly what to do. Like
where'd you find how you're definitely not far from this place where you live.
Yeah. Right? So I live 1.2 kilometers from Control Room, and it was found by biking by, and it was like studio for rent.
Nice.
And the mechanic that owned the place worked next door.
Okay.
And the rest is history. And because of the way we run it, or the way we've been taking care of it, well, the way we run it really, it built this trust. Like, you know, he doesn't live close by, and I live close by. So if there's any problems, he just calls me. The best thing is he doesn't call me, really.
Right.
but yeah, no. But we built this. I very quickly, it became like a thing through word of mouth that there is this space, and you know you can do all this recording and broadcasting, and then you know this is pre whatever. Like you mentioned. True TV. I mean, I just went and looked for some sort of platform where I can, partner with. And I actually went to England and met with those guys. And obviously they were in an incubated space, and eventually they went away. But
right.
They went away at the right time. So we lost a bunch of, patrons, but like it didn't really matter to me.
Right.
Because at the same time, you're just going to keep on going. I mean, if Twitch cuts all the DJs off, you're going to be gone, right? Like it's just, it's not your choice. Like,
no, it's
like exactly. You're not paying for it. But anyway, like and as the platforms develop, and it's you just have to kind of go along with it the way I've been going along with it all this time, and in terms of like having people over, like using the space, I'm actually looking to not so much expand, but the space is empty during the day, and we don't have any more noise restrictions right now. So I kind of want to like let people use the space during the day. Like I really do.
What about the guy beside you? The guy beside you still has the band that practices in
well, there? They don't play during the day.
Okay. I remember that when I did a stream set over there. It's like the guy's like smashing his drums and.
No, like if it's in the evening, maybe, but like during the day, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, to just for people to use the space during the day, but yeah, I mean we've done more than 2,500 recordings here. Like
awesome.
It's a extensive database. I have everything cataloged, so. I have a lot of music that's like available.
Right. A lot of streams. If somebody wanted to stream, you can find it and send it to them, I guess.
Yeah. There's
now. When did what year did you start the control? When did that start?
Like the inception is really like 2014. Okay. But then like we didn't start to like I think one of the first or third recordings was like Domir.
Okay.
He came here.
Nice. Like you started. The control room was really the first, the first ever, I would say, a studio that you could live stream and start and broadcast and play for people out in the internet. I don't think there's anybody else who was doing it.
Not consistently, no.
Right. They do it at their house, whatever. But I mean, for a studio that someone can just say, "Hey, Hubert, I want to come and use it for a few hours," no problem.
Yeah, that was again to that point you really need to kind of get comfortable with that, and now we're really comfortable. It's curated space. We got lots of art, and that's ever changing. I'm working with Kismet and Jamie Roy and a couple of other people, like to basically always keep the place really vibrant. And I love the reactions of people that haven't been here in a while, and they're like, "Wow." It's like moving the couch around your room.
As I was going to say, it's like rearranging your room so that it looks different.
That's right. And then just like you have that white wall behind you, put something on it. Put like
for sure.
For you it would be like a big aura, a big thing around you, like a yellow thing, like Mother Teresa thing, and you just sit there, and then you ask all the questions, or like Queen Victoria, or like whoever. Be pretty amazing.
Oh man, and you, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was like, I was just, the foundation that you created for the DJs to start off or to continue to do their sets. Like I've seen, a ton of your posts, and I've seen DJs that come through there, like Jackman Jones, Melanie Sutherland, Detroit's Trickster, like Chasm from Chicago, Saliva Commando, Pietro, rest in peace, our brother there. He was a great guy. Chico Yu, he frequent your studio, and Malcolm Trailbreaker. How many times has he done some sets there?
Malcolm has been here probably like maybe like 4 or 5 times. He's a good friend of mine, and he does some amazing shows. He was just with us on the weekend playing out. Didn't play outside, but he came by our thing on Cathra on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. He is
an awesome dude. He
likes fast cars.
Well, that's where him and I have the connection, because he races and I raced, and he does a lot of driver coaching for my company, and for other guys as well. And
he's amazing.
He's a good guy. He's an awesome guy. I mean, he's a quiet guy. I love the way he's just like very quiet, isn't And I want him to
Yeah.
get him on my show. He's going to come on the show as well. And
You're gonna love
Trail,
him.
yeah, I mean, like the name Trailbreaker, I like because I think for him being a race car, that it is actually a technique in racing that is used, and Malcolm being associated with the racing, Trailbreaker DJ name Trailbreaker fits perfectly for him, and I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, I mean, like just seeing DJs that come through there and some big name guys, and it's fantastic.
We welcome anybody. Right now, I have a really big crew coming through from Nigeria.
Oh wow, man! That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they're doing a show here on the 28th, and it's going to be a DJ and 3 guys on microphones. That's on the 28th. That's a private event. And
wow,
yeah, we're
just
awesome. Prepping up all the mics actually and the camera. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be probably a really awesome looking show with all the art.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It's their own thing. They found me through Instagram, and they're just they've been here a couple of times rehearsing, and it's just like some really really insane, beautiful music, like really super ethnic, and they're gonna do things here on the 28th.
Awesome. That's great, man.
And it's
I love hearing and knowing about that, because it's it's and listen, how does one get to the control room and rent that control room for him? How does that whole system work?
Oh, it's really simple. I mean, you can just email to like info@control room and say you want to rent it. That's how they reached out to me. It's simple. They don't info@CTRL room.ca, and you can rent the space. And like as long as space is available, it's not booked. It's per hour, and it seems to be working really well. Like these guys that I just described, like they just came out of nowhere. They're like, we want to do like 3 rehearsals, 1 live show. Like, you send them the rate, and then they're like, no problem. Because it's safe, right? It's a box. You come in, sound is good, and then you don't have to worry about anything. Like,
And the equipment, they're going to bring their own. Or they just use yours.
They're actually just bringing microphones.
Okay.
Yeah, just microphones, because those are the things you spit into these days.
But normally, typically, if a DJ is going to rent it or live stream, or sometimes they'll bring their own controller, or they'll bring
They can just request saying, please remove whatever you have on the table, or I'm bringing my own stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah.
That has happened dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah, I mean, I brought my mixer last time I did a set there.
Yeah, whatever. Like the table is a table, and you just
of course, man.
Everything off the table.
Yeah, for sure. And so sometimes like you don't even have to be there. You can just log in remotely and see what they're doing there, or what?
Yeah, it really all depends who I'm working with. I mean,
Gotcha.
If I'm like, if I trust you and I know you, then I will probably just remote log in and control the show, stop the show. I can schedule pretty much lighting and everything inside.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. Fuck, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I like it. Now, your artwork, is it more like bass traps, or is it just actual artwork?
No, it's mainly stuff from the studio around the corner, which is like from Kismet and Jamie Roy. I've got some Arcadia's art as well on the fridge, which I really really love. I wish I could show you. She did this backdrop for me for the fridge.
Nice.
Nice. Which is amazing. But I'm also like, I have this new cleat wall here, like this wall here, so I can hang any art I want.
Oh yeah, you can just hang it. Yeah, you have a slot wall.
You can actually bring art and hang it. I mean,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, this piece of art here is like for sale. That's Kismet's art.
Okay.
And then we'll just replace it with something new whenever. But he built us this wall. Kismet built us this wall, It's a cleat wall, so it basically like hooks up the art.
Yeah, the art hooks up to it.
Yeah, and cool, it stays there. Like it's pretty amazing. We try to make the space really dynamic. I'm a bit of an unrested child when it comes to like space. I need change.
Yeah,
I don't have like, deficit disorder of any kind, but I just want new stuff all the time. I just want new stuff.
I'm the same way, man.
The hands the hands are there. You can see the hands.
Yeah,
they're over here.
Oh yeah, I love it.
You know what I mean? They have to be. They need to be changed very soon. And then my wife wants some of this art at home because we're just repainting our place. So she's already asking, it's like, okay, when are you bringing this home so I can put it on the wall? I'm like, never.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, there's like there's pictures of like this guy.
Oh, my favorite, man, my favorite artist.
Yeah, there's other pictures. There's like a Hall of Fame wall that's supposed to be built. But yeah, this guy lives behind a monitor here.
Well, Arcadia, she did that painting of Prince, just a facial picture of it, and I bought one of them, and it's in my studio now. But I mean, she is talented. But I mean, Prince is one of my favorite. My favorite artists is unbelievable. His music, it's like Michael Jackson. His music will never die.
It's bigger than Michael Jackson. Music.
You know what? I guess it depends how I look at it. But there's a lot of talented artists, right? So of course they are.
I was just like today. I was like, Rod Stewart was playing. I was at Canadian Tire, and I was like, man, when I was like 16 years old, that guy rocked my world. Because good music is good music, man.
Right.
It is not defined by any sort of like guidelines or like standards, like
restrictions.
Whatever your ear loves, the stuff you sing to, I don't know if you clean the house a lot, but like, the things you sing to, the things you decide to go work out with, it doesn't have to be anything. It's like, oh no, like you're a good song is a good song, right?
Exactly.
I remember going to Poland, like last time I saw my mom, and I was like running into tracks from like all kinds of artists that were completely arbitrary. Like it wasn't like I wasn't listening to like my mixes. I was just listening to something else that
unbelievable.
I felt like it's good for me.
Right.
Like it's good for me. And
absolutely. I'm the same way. Yeah. And I want to show you. I think if I can pull it up here, I want to show you if I can bring it up on here. If you can see.
Okay, I see some stuff. Yeah. What's that?
Okay, so that one is that's the U2 Joshua Tree, the album and the album cover, and then over here that's where I have Arcadia's picture of Prince way down.
Oh, nice! I see that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so and then there's the studio portion of it. Yeah. So that's how it is, and but yeah, I mean, like I enjoy But I like changing stuff around because I have that I always like to change it around and make things different. Like sometimes 1 month I'll move that booth somewhere else. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like the studios is an open space.
Looks like you have a lot of space. You could do a lot in there, man. Like as long as that's not a dancing studio for your wife, then okay.
No, there's no pole yet. But
I'm saying just dancing. Hey, what are you thinking?
No, the studio was built more for music. It's not a professional one, but I've doubled up on the drywall, soundproof insulation, and the flooring, and so it's good enough so that.
I feel so bad I couldn't make it. I mean, the drone is what I need. I need somebody to pick me up.
Listen, man, we're gonna have
with a bunch of balloons, like the balloon thing. Just like,
well, you're light enough. You're light enough. You can use 3 balloons to get to my fucking place.
Take Hubert down to like days. And
then
bring him back. Sure. He might be a little bit heavier after a bottle of wine.
Oh yeah, a few beers, bottle of wine, food. Yeah. But no, we'll get you back. We'll get you back up here. I mean, I know that Gene comes up on the weekends, and they'll come up to the studio. Maybe we'll do like a little music set one time here in the studio, and nice. Or we'll just come down to your control room, and have a session there, right? So whatever works, man. It'll always be good. So now, like the DJ equipment that you supply at your place, that's all from you, eh? Like nothing. It's you bought it, you put it in there, you've done everything.
It's all mine. It's a lot of equipment. I think I kind of like doubled up on everything because I kind of come from that like redundancy world of things. Right. So we have multiples of
spares of this. If CDJ goes down, you got another one that's ready to go there, right? So.
Yeah. I have. That's why I only work with 2. I have a third one, and I have 4 1200s, and then I have also
4.
Yeah,
4 of them. Wow.
Yeah, I have 4 of them, and then I have also 4 mixers plus 1 rotary mixer, and then I have 2 XDJ 700s. So and then I have two Bose SP1 Pros, and that's the stuff when we do stuff we go like really small and outside and really loud.
Right.
But it's necessary because the studio has to stay intact. Like the studio always has to stay intact. So I don't like to unplug things in the studio, maybe minus like if somebody sets it up.
Right.
But somebody sets up a controller, but I don't like to physically remove anything out of the studio.
Right.
So I need doubles of everything. So those speakers that you see here, like like I have 4 of those. Like so there's 2 here and there's 2 backups.
Nice.
So if something breaks, you can easily get it fixed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think the maintenance side of your studio is tremendous, I guess, right? It's nothing.
Well, again, going back to who comes here.
I guess so.
So when people book this space, they kind of have to go through like, I really trust Paul, Chico, like anybody, like so far I've been very fortunate. I gotta tell you, like people that approach me are very respectful, incredibly good people. They know exactly what the protocol is. They even the younger one, the new kids, they know exactly what entails in terms of like what needs to happen because they have no access to the equipment. So I just tell them straight up, right? Like the drum and bass crews that come over, no problem. Yeah. They know exactly what to do. They come in. Don't smoke my place out, like because they have done it. They have done it.
Yeah. Oh,
so now they know not to do that, and it's like it's just
they respect it. No, they respect it.
It's a respect and understanding. It's simple, right? And it seems to work. And I'm a nice guy. Well, they don't take advantage of you, right? They don't take advantage of you. You know how to set it straight, and this is what it's like. And one thing that I gotta mention to you, which kind of goes in line with this, is I built this place the way I would think if I was the person coming here to do a show. So the cost, the equipment, it's all like, what if I were to ask you if I can rent it?
Right. Yeah. No. Fair point, man. Fair point. It's you want to come in. You want to be treated the same way they are, but you want to be walking into a place. So if I'm gonna rent it, I need this is what I expect.
Yeah.
right?
No, but in terms of the cost, especially the cost, like I was like, okay, people are like, oh, you're not charging enough. I'm like, I don't think that's a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be charging, $25 an hour
Right.
instead of $50 an hour because
Right.
that's what I would want to pay. And then people kind of just they're like, no problem, and they're like, okay, well now you get to record. I'll send you your set, and we do all
Yeah.
of that. We do all the post production. Like I have a full workflow behind the
Hmm.
scenes. Like just send it to them, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, thanks.
See that's where I look at. I'm like, you know, that's where I think maybe you're not charging enough. But then it's like, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. You've been doing it for years, and
Yeah, no,
it works. It
it's
works. It
fun.
works for you. It works for
No,
you, man.
it's super fast too. Like the way I
Yeah.
have it set up, it's like it just
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
also take
self-sustainable.
take that content and use it as my content, right?
Sure, you use it to your benefit for social media, of course, man.
Yeah, and I do
I see. I
now.
see.
Now I'm doing all kinds of stuff with it, so it's like it just has to be consistent. So I need
Yeah.
more content than ever. Like
What is a WFA radio? Who are those guys?
so, WDFA radio. It's Ian, Sleepy Freeman, and
Okay.
he's been a solid dude. He has become my partner,
Awesome.
and he's been really good in supporting the project in terms of like just being here and supporting it financially. And we've been working really well together.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. Man.
he's got his own projects, and
Okay.
we've been really, really, really good about how we work together. Like really, really amazing partner. If there's anybody else I've worked with, and most of the time I would probably say I like to work alone.
Right.
This dude is good, man. He's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's an amazing guy. Like he just we've got that understanding, and there hasn't been he's never skipped a big beat on anything.
Good for you, man. I love that. I love when
Yeah,
things work together, a plan comes together. I
it
love
is
that.
it is not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy. I've seen people leaving keys. Oh, I want to do stuff with you, and then they just like kind of like disappear
Yeah.
because there's work to do. And there's work to do, and then no one wants to do the
Exactly.
work, as you described in your business, that you have
Sure.
a lot of things going on, but no one wants to do the work. Well,
Right. I
like,
know.
so it's better to do kind of. I find it that it's better to do projects separately and keep the thing going.
Right on.
Almost like you rent the guy, like you, and this has nothing to do with Sleepy, but like holding somebody accountable, saying, hey, you rent my space, you fix your cars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that
Absolutely.
way you just get your rent, and then you don't have to worry about it. But that's not in our context. Our context, we're
Right.
all working together. Like it's
Perfect.
it's amazing.
Right on.
Like it's different. But yeah, it's really hard to work with other people. But
Yeah,
I'm
no
very
kidding.
blessed. I'm very blessed to work with Ian. Like
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for? You said you wanted to expand. Any plans to get it into like step up another notch in this in control room or what?
You know what? Right now, things are kind of financially really tough. I think it's kind of like as long as the landlord doesn't do anything to us, anything crazy, I think we're just going to stick around.
Sure.
We do have some ideas with another crew, but it is nothing solidified. It would probably be an event kind of space.
Right on. Okay.
But we're not really in talks even yet. It's just an idea to say
all
like,
ideas.
Curating. I can't really tell you.
Don't worry about it.
It's more of a difficult conversation. It's a difficult thing to explain over what we're trying to do.
Sure.
But we're definitely looking at opportunities. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
and there won't be just like a mainstream stuff. Like it won't be like I'm not interested in any sort of curating or getting involved in sort of a mainstream stuff. If I'm going to go with something, it would have to be super artistic, and then and then also like I want to have full creative control. That's one thing about me that you probably don't know, like, is that I don't just throw. If I were to throw a party and it would have to be a theme, I'm not going to just call my friends to play. I have a repertoire of DJs and their music genres and styles and their incredible abilities to make a flow. Right. Which was the things we did with the marathons, Right. My marathons were not just like, okay, let's just get through the 42 hours of music. We're not doing that, right? It has to have a flow. And recently I've actually seen something that's like, I was just like, why is this DJ playing? Like, there should be that guy playing, like not this guy, like, but it's none of my business to say.
Is this local?
And not so much local. I mean, it was a bigger event, but but it was just like I can already tell you that, like, if you have a headliner like this guy should be playing.
Right.
If he's
right.
a local DJ.
That's good, man. You've got
it's none of my business, right?
No, but you've got a box full of DJs that
I've got a big box.
Well, right? That we know that
box. And right. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do with that box.
Yeah,
and some of them are retired. Some people might say I don't play anymore. Like, but
yeah, you're gonna get that. We'll get I get that now with people that want to come in. If they want, I invite them to do a set. They're like, hey, I don't do it anymore, and blah blah. I'm like, but that they're gonna get back on it like riding a bike. They know that they're gonna get into it and flow that music the way it's supposed to be. So they're out there.
They have to feel it. They have to feel it.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes, like what I learned is sometimes you have to tell them, like, unless it's like Terrence Parker or like where the music is like super defined, you're gonna get like, edit disco house music. You don't have to tell them what to do. But there's other times where it's like you're kind of like, hey, can you play this? Right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I totally get it, and I think it's great that you got a toolbox full of those tools that could make a festival, a marathon, or an event successful. Right?
Yeah. Awesome. I'm thinking about this. My capabilities are a little bit limited, but I want to do it. I did it once at Control Room, and it was a big undertaking to get that done, and we did it. There's a cherry involved. There's all kinds of stuff involved, and to design it properly, to put everything in place, it's a big job. But like,
I know, man. Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Yeah,
and it's got to be done right. There's no half-ass shit. You can't just put a DJ in because you like the guy or like the girl. You got to, it doesn't work that way. They understand if you're not going to take them on as a DJ, they totally understand that. So
yeah, and it's not about their fame. It's not. It has
no.
For me,
no.
I have zero like. I put you at the same level. It's more like let's just work together. I want to enjoy your music, and I want to give you a mixtape at the end. I have a reel-to-reel that I bought that I want to record everybody on reel-to-reel.
Yeah, I saw that on your post there. That is awesome.
It's fully operational.
That is fantastic. And
I'm getting 500 of those reel-to-reels.
Wow!
From the States right now, they're on their way from Florida. Yeah, we're going to be recording stuff.
I didn't think they still made those things. To be honest with you,
no, they're just old, dude.
Yeah, I know. We used to.
But they're stronger than your underwear, though. They're stronger than your underwear. That's the part of you. It's like
you tow a car with it,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe like if you swing a few times the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, We're like, I personally don't see this in any way stopping.
Good.
And having you around, having the opportunities to like talk to other people about it
Sure.
is just gold. Like for me,
Awesome,
that's just gold. Like I
Thank you,
don't
man.
like. I'm like, yeah, like no one ever asks me like how this works and where it comes from. It's like, and I hold this in my heart. Like it's just it's something that came out from the beginning of our conversation. It's
Mhm.
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy,
Yeah, man.
Dave. It's crazy.
It is.
It's
It
not
is.
like this something happened in my life when I did a bunch of drugs. I did zero drugs and I'm just
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah. The passion you have for this, that's what I feel from you on this. It is remarkable, and I commend you and wish you nothing but the
I
best
just
in
let's just
success. You
do
know
my
that.
own. We're living, man. We're living
Yeah,
through.
I know, but you've brought, like, you've actually introduced DJs to like their first event, their first live stream, or multiple DJs. Like, you provided them with a platform, and you still do, and that's a big up to you on continue to do that, and that's why I really, I promote control room a lot with when I'm talking to the DJs and other people, so it is because I don't like, I went to an event, last couple weekends ago, and, I supported the event, which was great, but it reminded me that, those type of clubs, that's not for me anymore, man. It's not for me anymore. Like,
Yep.
fuck, I'm like, oh my God, like my kids would love this, but like, it's like, I'm fucking done with,
Yeah.
the 4 or 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning shit. I said, I can't fucking do that anymore, but I get what you're doing. And I love it. I love what you're doing.
It's just everyone is welcome. You want to come and cultivate. You want to learn. You want to
Yeah, for sure.
you want to have few of your friends over. You want to
Yeah.
BYOB, whatever. Like I don't
Yeah.
like, as long as you're good, you're honest, and you're going to get something out of it. You might actually network. Many times the networking just became crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
and that's really what
That's
you
big.
want. That's a huge thing. Like people going
It's
away
huge.
and collaborating. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, there's so many mentors and other people that, like, COVID kind of killed a lot of this kind of interaction, and it's hopefully this will actually spring up like very very like in the next year. Like things
Right.
will kind of be on a bit of a like collaborative community. Right now we're like, oh, Electronic Island, let's get gooned and go over there. It's just
Yeah,
like, and then
yeah,
like half of the people pass out. 40 people get arrested. Let's like,
yeah.
why do we do this now? Like because
Right.
we didn't do it because now we don't know how to behave. But
Right.
in here, it's safe space, right? So like, come back, throw a set, bring a couple of your
Yeah.
friends, have some fun, look at some art, and like,
Awesome.
you
That's
know,
incredible. It's great. Especially bringing the artwork in there, and
the
having
artwork
them,
is very,
you know,
very important.
oh, for sure, man. That's the, it doesn't have to be like the DJs doesn't have to be the center focal point of it. People can look around and enjoy the whole room, right? So, which is
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
and like your spot is great. Like you're in the Junction, the Stockyards. I grew up in that area. I grew up at Dufferin and St. Clair.
okay.
And and I remember when the stockyards were still there with the cattle crossing the road, and
Crazy.
my father was a meat cutter. He was a butcher back then, so I'd frequent the place all the time. But you're just like right around the corner from there, and right around the corner is there's tons of, like, a ton, and you and I share the same passion. I love craft beers. But I think you love them more than I do. But you're down. You're like 2 doors down from People's Pint Brewery. Reinhardt is around the corner.
I'm
High Park Brewery is
350
down the
meters.
street.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's
350
crazy.
meters. Yeah, no,
It's
I
crazy.
live there. I live
I
behind
love
the
it.
Berlin Wall.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, so I live behind the wall. So like I just live there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man. Well, I
Shackland
saw.
and
Yeah, I with my other company, the Forefathers, we do a lot of events with People's Pint, and obviously we connected when you're DJing outside, and I think it's awesome, and you have the vinyl going, and we're gonna be at the Reinhard Brewery
When?
June 12th or 14th, whatever that weekend is. I believe it's I think it's the 14th.
It's before Father's Day.
Oh yeah, that's the 19th. So that's so it's going to be the 12th. June 12th is we have an event at Reinhard Brewery parking lot. There's a bunch of local places that are selling, doing it.
We can play.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah,
on the 11th, I'm going to a 50th birthday, which I committed to with my wife, and then on the 11th, she will let me out of the house.
Nice. Well, listen,
let's talk about it. Yeah,
I'll definitely see you on the 12th. I mean, the 11th, I have my own party going on in Mississauga, but on the 12th, for sure, our Forefathers will be there, Reinhard Brewery, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it's like a small world, small industry. It's amazing. It is fantastic. I mean, and speaking of which, I saw some posts that you did when you were at some wineries and in Niagara. Like, are these all events that they called you about? You're like, how'd you get these gigs, and what made you get all to do that?
Yeah, so I have some affiliations with like St. Catharines, and I just get in there and basically show up and play.
Just muscle your way through there and just start playing music.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome, man. And you get all these ideas that you have, you have the backyard sessions, you got like barbecues going on. You're always involved with something. And it's amazing how that, that all adds up to, but it adds up to massive networking and, and being an entrepreneur and, you have that in you, and it's like, not just to find ways of making money, but just find ways of networking, eventually that brings people together, brings you, and
it's all about people.
Absolutely, man. I love it.
It's all about people. It's what I like. I have the HVAC guy that's going to be replacing my furnace and putting a tankless water heater. I just met him on the street.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. Yeah, So I that's how I work. I don't. Yeah. My family had to get used to the fact that I just talk to people and get the best trades, and like everyone.
If you feel like they're the right ones, fucking bring them over.
I checked them out though. I called like TSSA and I checked them out. Don't worry.
Sure.
Good, but it's next thing you know, the fireman is installing my furnace on June 4th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. He does those long shifts they do, and then they have the days off. This guy hasn't figured it out.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
He's 30 years old. He's like installing a furnace for me, and he's got a G2. He can install my furnace.
So I think they work like 6 days on, 4 days off, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But he's got another business going on. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's always, I love it.
I can't do it, but he can.
I like I said to my wife, I said, we got to do some work on the front yard, the back. I want to do some interlocking. I want to do this and this, and it's like I'm just going to get quotes. I can't do this anymore. I used to do it all the time. I'm pretty handy, right? But it's like I don't have the time. I have the time.
You're wasting time with me.
It'll just take me a lot of time, just take me a lot of time.
Longer time.
Oh my God. And I just rather just get a quote, see what the best one is and
the quotes are not fun. These quotes.
I tell you, man, prices gone up everywhere, like fucking gas, food, just the cost of living.
That's the reason why I didn't show up.
I can imagine how much that TTC is going to cost you, like $30 to get here each way,
No, I was going to bike over to your place.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, it's only an hour and like 45 minutes.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Plus, you're like, fuck, you can do it in your sleep. So, I mean.
No, I can't. Not in my sleep. I have to have my eyes open, dude.
Yeah, no, listen, I got into cycling, probably 10 years ago, and I want to do more of it. So I'm probably gonna
north enough. You should be able to get the hell out of Mississauga.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's
Don't get hit by a car.
No, I know, and that's you got to watch out for. You and I know both. You got to watch out for other people, not just yourself, right? Yeah. It's crazy. But I mean, just with the people texting, the texting and driving, and you watching people drive through fucking red lights and not making stop signs, and I'm like, holy shit!
Happens on Sinclair all the time,
man. Yeah. It is crazy. It is crazy. St. Your area that's it's actually a young family area, isn't it?
Pretty young. Yeah, we have a new condo.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we have a new condo at like Symes and Sinclair. That's where I live. I live between Guns and Symes.
Oh, Guns. Okay, I know where it is. Okay, so like you're right behind. Are you right behind Reinhardt?
Yes.
Okay.
In front of Reinhardt.
Oh, in front of. Oh, yeah. Where I saw you in that on that the little food trailer. Are you behind that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm behind the Beerlin wall. You know the wall?
Yeah, bro.
The Beerlin wall. I called that.
The Beerlin wall. I love it. Beerlin wall.
Yeah, the Beerlin wall. Frankie's over there right now, man, making arancini balls and like pizzas. Like it's crazy right now.
Really?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's like next level. That guy, that Italian guy, is just like making food like you wouldn't believe.
In that little trailer?
Yeah, he's expanded the trailer. He's got like wood oven pizza in the back, and like he's got a trailer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a stationary trailer, but it's like he makes crazy food.
Okay, well, he's going to be there
Saturday.
He's going to be there on the 12th when we have our event there. So I'm going to check it out for sure.
Oh man, the arancini balls, poop. Like, not poop, but like really good.
No, of course, it's amazing. I love how we just supporting local and just
Oh yeah, I support that guy.
Oh my God. I mean, well, even like you just support whether it's you support our Forefathers sauces, big plug on that. All the beers, all the craft places and food, like you're doing your thing, man, which I really enjoy.
I only do one thing, yeah. Like if you see me going to Metro, I cringe. I'm like, I need some peppers. Fuck. Trust me, there's a network. There's a network that Frank has for getting produce. Last year I bought like a case of fucking coconuts. Like because some guy brings like a skid of them. Like I'm like, okay, it's $9. I'll take a skid of coconuts. Like
wow.
Or like a pineapple. Pineapple was another one. $2 per pineapple. So like you buy a case of pineapple, you can freeze that shit and make smoothies with the kids, right?
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's like there's Italian connection over there. Like they're just bring stuff. Grappa, even if it's shitty, you gotta drink it.
You got I love it, man. I love it.
It's crazy. That corner is crazy. It's like all of a sudden like everyone is arguing, but they keep bringing stuff. I don't know if it's like that's like a normal thing. But it's just like, what do you mean? It's too expensive. I can get cannolis here. Like I was like, what the fuck, man? I just want cannolis. Like bring the fucking cannolis from wherever you're going. Like I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Mark it up for the Polish guy. Like
that's how the WAPs are. That's how us WAPs are. Okay,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
We talk with our hands and we're loud and we're like, in the end. You're going to get it regardless. You're going to get the product.
The older one is like saying you didn't put the 2x4 properly. Like this is going to slope this way. And then the younger one is saying, what the fuck do you know? This is my space. And then they just keep arguing. It's like, and next thing you know, they're trading spinach.
Exactly. That's
and you're like, okay, you're fucking trading spinach. Anyway, we kind of deviated from our conversation. It's all about house music, guys.
It's all about house music.
House music.
You were when you mentioned that about the synth pop, synth pop, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And like I still DJ to this day, and I love playing, the 80s retro, when you mentioned Pet Shop Boys, modern, those those bands and those, I still love hearing, the instruments back then that you're playing, right? It's amazing.
I wish I showed you what I just got. I just got Legs by ZZ Top on vinyl.
Oh, did you? I think I might have that.
The extended dance mix.
Oh, no way. Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just got that because I don't buy these records, but I'm like, I want to get this record. I want I want this record. I want Leonard Cohen's record, a certain album. Like I want something special. And then I was just that's how you build a crazy collection. And I played here for Craig, East Side Edits, and he had his birthday May 1st, and I played last, and he's like, "Okay, Hugh, it's you're next," and I just dropped a bunch of shit. He was here. His eyes were like, "What the fuck? Like, how could you do this?" I was like, "That's all I had in the bag, man. A bunch of fucking 80s." But I was like, it was all vinyl, and he was just like, "This is insane. Like, it's insane what you're playing," because every track was the track that I like. And like between OMD, between Aha, between Pet Shop Boys, he was just like, "This is stupid shit, man. Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "This is my music, man.
This is what I'm playing, man. This is what I'm
playing. This is the stuff that I love."
Yeah.
Right? This is the stuff. And it's just like, you don't hear it this way on the radio. You don't.
No, you don't. You don't hear on the radio that way. And I actually do like to find. I always like finding house edits of the
That's
80s
nice.
tracks.
It's cool. It's nice to hear those. And some of them are cool. Some of them are not. But you know what?
Right.
If you play the original, I think you're.
If you play the original, yes. You play the original, you're gonna. Yes, it brings you back.
You're kind of fine, and it feels really good. And it kind of like I don't play vinyl very often, but like I was like, you know what? He wants me to play for his birthday. I'll drop a set. And I had a bag of records. We're not really organized, and all of a sudden he just he's like, "Wow, thank you."
It's like a goodie bag. It's like a goodie bag of like, you don't even know what it is in there.
It was kind of like a goodie bag, and I just like when you're playing vinyl, you get really messy, and then I put it all back together, and then it was kind of like, wow, that was fun. I wish I recorded that, but I didn't. But it's okay because I will do it again.
Of course, man. Of course. That's what's so good about the music is that it doesn't matter, to me, I'm an all music genre guy. I love it.
Sure.
Obviously house is our go-to. It's our heart. So I always love to, and I always never wanted. I want to get into production side of things, and it just took a lot of time away from certain things that I wanted to do. It does. And is that something that you dabbled with at all, or what?
Yeah, I have. I've been meaning to do it. It's just I have my favorite gear at home. Actually, I'm not so digital, so I'm more of a. I have few pieces of hardware.
Okay.
That I would be working from.
Awesome.
But I need to find the time.
That's
because I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this unfinished business. A lot of people have lots of gear and they don't really do anything. Mm-hmm. If I sit down, I'm gonna do start to finish. Like it's gonna be like a composition. I do have a bit of a support from Jason Spanu and my wife, who is a classically trained pianist. She knows how to arrange music, and she gives me some guidance on that. But I just don't have the time right now because I'm looking for work again, and it's kind of the renos and like I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it's like I'm trying to float everything around, and
I hear you, man. I totally hear you.
And it's just like I need to play badminton, and I need to be part of a tennis club, and all
You need
kinds
to
of.
buy more. You need to buy more Incini balls and this
Yeah,
and
I get
that.
fatter because I need to stay closer to the ground so they'll flow
Oh
closer
yeah.
to your area because
We drink more beer. I'm today. I got some People's Pint going on. Supporting People's Pint.
amazing.
So, but
But yeah,
I definitely.
it's life, dude. Dave, it's
Yeah.
life, man. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, all those things that I told you about my life and the journey, it is
Yeah.
completely unbelievable, and I have a pretty
Yeah.
good memory of how it all happened. And
Love it.
I really thank everyone, including
Yeah.
yourselves, including you, including anybody that you've mentioned today. To like, if I wasn't part of this music
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
the house music thing or just the
Yeah.
music thing, we would never meet.
We'd never meet. You'd
Like,
be you'd be a dancer dancing in his underwear at home somewhere.
yeah, yeah, I would be doing that, but it would be like you would be reading a book somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
you know what I mean? Because one of us would just not want to do it.
Right. No, I totally get it, man. I totally
Right?
get it.
Like we would not do this. We would not be able to be comfortable to sit down and talk about it in a
Right.
noisy chair. Like we would not
Yeah.
be able to. We would not be able to do it because we're like, I don't want to talk to Dave because I'm just like I'm really into books.
Right. I mean, that's it.
I'm completely
Boring.
pretentious, but I'm on the. I follow Dave, but I
Yeah.
don't like to do that.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I like to read books in my underwear. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. That's not the case.
No, it's not. It's not, man. That's and,
You know.
I'm glad that that you and I created this friendship, created this
Always, man.
this
Always.
diverse
And
network.
forever,
It's
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%, man, 100%.
Well, that's just whatever you were describing. That's just me. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
we have one thing in common, and we can all do multiple things and support each other.
Right.
I mean, I'm freaking like, hey man, I have better hot sauce than those four fathers. I have 5 fathers hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like I love your hot sauce. You guys are freaking
Oh,
awesome.
thanks, man.
No
I
hat
appreciate
for
that.
me. Like, where do you get a hat?
I will have. Yeah, no, you'll get it. You'll get one. If you came here today, I've got a DJ gear I was supposed to give you and a hat and a t-shirt. So don't worry, I got that.
No,
set
four
aside. I gotta come down
fathers,
there.
man. Like I'll wear this with pride. I mean, yesterday the chicken wings were just amazing. I'm like,
Oh,
don't put
man.
anything on the chicken wings. I got the sauce. It's like Glenn is like, it's too hot. I'm like, keep biting on this thing.
That's it. Keep eating it. Keep eating it.
G-Money
Oh man, speaking of G Money, he bought my sauce from at Longo's, and
Yes.
he sends me a picture of it. He puts it on his steak and this and that. Big up to G Money. The guy, I love this guy. He is like
He's
he
awesome.
actually lives like 5 minutes away from me, right? And
No drone.
but 2 seconds, 2 minutes with a drone. But no, he's awesome, and you're awesome for supporting Four Fathers. I'm not trying to put a plug out there.
No, that's fine. It's the truth.
No, I think it's great. I mean, and can listen if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Hubert, they can send you an email through info@ctrlroom.ca.
Yeah, control room. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, people always asking, and I always like to steer the right people to certain people, and I get a lot of.
That's kind of like
you have to get the right people, and because anybody can just go in there, and it's just about, like you said, it's about the respect, about not taking advantage of you, not destroying the place,
we're good.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy how knock on wood, it's been fantastic. I mean, that you haven't had any issues like that, and mind you, the smoking side of things. I mean, I've been to a couple places, whatever. It is what it is.
We're good. We're good with that.
Absolutely. You know what? If that's the if that's the only problem you
there
have,
you go.
then,
If that's the only
so
thing we
that's
have
good.
to worry about, then really we don't
Yeah,
really have
man.
too many problems. And that could be addressed right up front, saying, hey, guys,
Right.
walk down the stairs, don't get gooned, and
Yeah.
like just
Right.
whatever, right?
Just
Like
go outside, do your thing,
yeah. And people have been generally really good. I really appreciate the entire scene for what it is, and
Yep.
like we're going to grow with this.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible. Like it's incredible.
Well, people respect you, Hubert. Okay, because
it's not about me. Like I would love to have a larger environment for everyone, but like.
But it doesn't matter. You've created that environment. You created that whole house music atmosphere of where people know you in control room. They know that this is a vibe. You're a humble guy, and I get it. I'm not trying to tell you that you are very well respected in the community, and that's why I wanted to have you on, and plus for more of a friendship.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. It is more, it's talking just from, like
we just chatting.
Shooting the fat, man. Just shooting the fat. It's what's noisy chair. We make some noise. Talk about how you were.
I love the chair. 100%. I am a big supporter of the noisy chair.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Great,
I really appreciate that.
Great idea. I was really noisy today, so I don't know. Put a vibrator in there or something. Make it fucking super noisy.
I'll put some motor like. I'll put some noise.
And then leave. Do not sit on it.
Exactly. Oh man, I always like to talk with interesting people and such as yourself, and it could be anybody from the UK or anybody that has a good story, and they're cool cats, and I love that, and I think it's great. I listen. I appreciate you coming on board tonight, man. It's been fun, and the podcasts are taped and it's aired on YouTube. So we're going to be, this will be aired on when they see this, it's June 1st. And but it's on YouTube.
Some of this, right? You're gonna edit some
I'll edit. I'll edit. I don't edit the language.
Dirty nails right now, like
No, yeah. I got this fucking skin that's hanging on the side. I'm trying to fucking pick at it, but they can listen to me listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, and it'll be going on Facebook.
All the links. Send me all the links.
And it'll be on. So that the link that I have on Facebook.
My mom will love it. My mom will like.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That'd be kind of cool. For sure.
This stuff.
And man, and it's like I said, it'll be all available on video on demand on YouTube and on Spotify and wherever you get your Google Podcasts and so forth. So it's a lot of fun. And listen, man, it was a pleasure having you on as a guest and learning about you, your story, your business. I love it. I really appreciate you coming on board, man. And it won't be the last time. I mean, we'll do follow-ups. We'll do all sorts of stuff. We'll work together on some projects, and we're gonna be involved in a lot of things in the years to come.
Anytime.
I am not worried about. This is not like a one-time thing, man. We're here for life. So that's what house music is all about, life. So, Hubert, thanks so much, brother, for coming on board.
Out, bro.
And we're good. I'll send you all the links and. Enjoy your craft beers and enjoy the family. Enjoy your success. Good luck on the job situation, and I'm sure you'll find something quick.
I'll be fine. Good night, Dave. Love you. Bye.
Good night, buddy. Thanks very much, man. Ciao, buddy. Bye bye.